about Elijah Moore. But I mean, at the same time, even if you did play him, because there were times late in the season where y'all actually played him a little bit more than y'all did in the beginning of the season, and he showed up a little bit. But look who's throwing him the ball. Look who's throwing him. Look who's throwing him the ball, man. Like the only thing you got going for yourself, Jets, is that defense. That defense is awesome. Sauce Gardner is awesome. Like you got some names on your defense. And I think that defense was keeping y'all alive right now, but y'all needed that game last night to make the playoffs, man. I don't see it happening, man. I don't see it. I mean, we'll see, man. You have to win out, but I mean, you're not winning out when there was no Zach Wilson as your quarterback. So what the deal is with Mike White and those ribs, man? I know you got barbecue ribs, but what's the deal, man? Can you play? Cause they gonna need you for week 17, week 18. If you could play, Jets maybe, but if Mike White is not playing, man, it's always next season. Just make sure you got a different general manager when it's coming to next season. So let's get to some NBA. What I've been telling you about Jokic. I feel like I say that name wrong. Djokovic. I'm I really gotta get these names right. I don't like saying these people's names wrong. They are two great players for me not be saying their names right. But I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Jokic, and I hope I'm saying it right, cause I don't believe there's a V in his name, so it's not Djokovic. I'm gonna say Jokic. Like I have not been saying his name all week, but sometimes I got it, sometimes I don't. But Nikola Jokic, I'm gonna go with Jokic. Hey man, this guy's the MVP for this year, and he won MVP twice. And I never thought he won MVP. He was an MVP player. But it's not because he didn't play good. Because I was so biased, man. I was so biased. The fact that he's not American, he doesn't play in that traditional big man way of playing. His athleticism is not crazy. He's a great passer, but his athleticism is not. It's not all that good to me. And he plays in Denver. You know what I mean? Like Denver is the type of team that makes the playoffs that you hope lose just because you don't want to see that small of a market late in the playoffs, but yet you do. It reminds me of Dallas. It reminds me what's his name? Don Don. See, me and names, me and Luca. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get your last name, Luca. I promise you. I'm gonna get your last name. I promise you. I'm gonna get your last name. But right now, you Luca. It reminds me of Luca and Dallas. I don't want to see Dallas late in the playoffs. I don't want to see teams like that late in the playoffs. Unless you got Dirk Nowitzki on your team, I don't want to see it. And yet, they was in the Western Conference Finals last year. How? Don't know. Don't know what other player is on that team other than Luca. Was Tim Hardaway Jr. on that team last year? Maybe, but you know, it just that's how Jokic is for me when it's come with Denver. I don't want to see Denver late in the playoffs. And it's not because there's no good players on that team, because I'm so biased. So Jokic was doing all these great MVP caliber things for that team, and I just wasn't paying attention that much. Man, Jokic, I'm paying attention now. You got my antennas is wide up. Is up. I got the best reception on my old school TV right now. If you was a kid in the 90s, you understand what I'm talking about. I got my antennas up. I got the lumen foil on the antennas. I'm holding it in the northeast to the sky, and the screen is bright. I'm gonna stay right here until the game is over, because this man is putting on a show. He's the MVP of this season already, in my opinion. You know, he had a great game. He had a great game with the Portland Trailblazers. Had an awesome game with the Portland Trailblazers. He had a game with the Trailblazers. Damian Lillard scored 34 points. Damian Lillard had 34 and like 34 and 8, I believe. Believe so. Believe it was 34 and 8, or could have been 7. No. I believe it was 8. 34 and 8. 34 with 8 assists. He had a game. 10 for 22 from shooting, and he was 100% shooting percentage from the free throw line. 10 out of 10. This man had a game. You know what I mean? And Grant came up with 20 points himself. But when you got Jokic putting up 29 points, 11 assists with 8 rebounds, like that's it. That's it. That's done for. Murray had 25 himself, 25 and 12. He had 25 and 12 himself. Like, Jokic this is after the 13-13-13 triple-double game. Jokic is amazing this year. He's amazing this year. He is so consistent. Please don't get hurt. Don't get hurt if you do got it, because it's basketball, so things happen. If you do got get hurt, don't get hurt for months at a time. Miss a couple of weeks. Miss 3 weeks. Please don't get an injury when you could be going for like 2 or 3 months, especially going to January, when those 2 3 months is basically basically where your team gonna be in the playoffs. Cause the team record is still not crazy. That they're not up there in the standings like that. They should be. You would think they are. From the way that their star players is playing, you would think that they are. But I think all that's gonna change. Cause I think Joker's just getting started. I think he is. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they end up being first or second by the end of this season. And that really depends on how the Grizzlies feel, and if the Suns gonna wake up or not. I don't got that much stock in the Pelicans. I don't got that much stock in the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans having a good first half of the season, second half of the season, they might go back to normal. But that really depends. That really depends on how the Grizzlies feel, how the Suns feel. I don't have a whole lot of stock in the Clippers, and we'll see. We'll see what the Mavericks wants to do, because the Mavs they're not there either. They're not high in the standings either. Speak of the Mavs, Luka must got tired of hearing too much stuff about Jokic, because he's starting to play. Luka's starting to play. Y'all seen Luka? Y'all see what he's doing? Y'all seen Luka pull up 50 points? 50 points? Y'all see him? Y'all see him coming up with 50 points? I did. I did. Luka is starting to play. This man scored 50 points against the Mavs. Like, playing outstanding basketball. Outstanding basketball. Like, oh my God. Now, field goal shooting, 17 from 30. But, I mean, 30 shots. You put up 30 shots, you better score 50 points. You put up 30 shots. You know, he also had 10 assists. He also had 8 rebounds. He's not just putting up baskets. He's facilitating in so many different ways of the game. And yet their standards is not so high. Why? Because the rest, man, Luka needs another player to play with him. He needs another player to play with him so bad. The good thing about Luka is usually on things like this, usually I'll be saying like, okay, man, after your first contract is up, get up out of there, go to a bigger market team, because no one's gonna sign the play where you at. Now that's not the case for Dallas. Dallas is a big enough market, I believe, that they can get free agents, especially if Luka is playing the way Luka is playing. You know what I mean? I could see somebody like a Jokic when if he wants to leave Denver, could go to Dallas and play with Luka. You know what I mean? I could see if the Lakers want to make a trade, they want to trade Anthony Davis. I could see Anthony Davis signing an extension to stay in Dallas to play with Luka. Hopefully his injuries will calm down if that happens, because I think Anthony Davis and Luka could do some great things in the Western Conference, but together. But that just think of big guys to play with Luka, because if Luka could get a big guy to play with him, A-B+ big guy to play with him, Luka could win a championship. Luka could win a championship. Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd was able to bring home a championship for that franchise. So man, if Luka and a really good big man, play together. Man, let Zion say, all right, man, my contract is up. I'm not playing with in New Orleans no more. I'm gonna sign with Dallas and play with Luka. They can win a championship. You know, Luka was putting up great numbers as well as Jokic. I could see him going head to head of trying to get MVP. This season is so weird to me because I really have no idea who's going to win the championship. I don't have in my mind like, oh yeah, man, is this team versus the field? Nah, it's just the field. It really could be anybody. It really could be anybody. It ain't gotta be anybody could be in the championship this year. You know what I mean? If the Nuggets keep playing the way they're playing, it could be the Nuggets. You know what I mean? If the Pelicans keep this up, it could actually be the Pelicans. I don't think they're gonna keep it up, but it could be. It also could be the Grizz. The Grizz gotta win tonight. The Grizz gotta win tonight against the Suns. Big win. Big win. The Suns didn't wake up yet. Now the Suns is going through a lot of injuries themselves right now, so it's not all on the Suns. The Suns gotta get healthy. They gotta get healthy. Cause right now you're relying on DeAndre Ayton to basically be the guy. And I don't see him as the guy to get you to where you're trying to be. You know what I mean? But the Suns gotta get healthy. But if the Suns get healthy, they could be dangerous. Chris Paul can do his thing. Facilitate the ball, but his team gotta get healthy. Booker, they need you, man. They need you. The team gotta get healthy, and they gotta make a few trades, man. They gotta make some moves. And if you can't move Aiton, you gotta do something. You gotta make some moves. Cause if not, it's gonna be just like how it was the last few years. You know what I mean? Like you gotta make some moves. I'm expecting the Suns to make some trades by February. But this Grizzly team got a really good win, 25-point win against the Suns, and John Morant did not play a good game at all. At all. He only had 4 for 14 shooting. He only had